Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the Akim that teach in this word. Shalom Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. So it says, Western media complicit in hiding truth of Afghan war, allowing extraordinary lie to last 2 decades. WikiLeaks, I can't pronounce that name properly, Hafnason, all right? So basically, I want to read this article, but it's going into pretty much the lies of Esau, all right? And it says they've hidden the truth of the Afghan war, all right, allowing extraordinary lie to last 2 decades. So, which we know that anyway. We know Esau is all about war, and they speak about going into different lands to bring peace to the people. They're suffering from their wicked rulers, like they did in Iraq, like they did in Libya. Remove the rulers, set up puppet governments for his gain. So we know that that's what Esau does, man. All right. But then the lie you're fed over here is that, the Taliban is oppressing their people, or, they've got women in slavery, or, basically to rile up your emotions, so all these lies. But now it said Western media complicit in hiding truth of the Afghan war. But we already been speaking on Esau's lies, man. We already knew what they're really in there for the resources, to steal, to kill, and to destroy. That's his MO, man. But now that whole lie of Esau being the good guy on the planet is being exposed. Even people that aren't so-called in the truth know that, the American military and the British military are corrupt. Everyone knows that now. So all these lies are coming up. All right. So it says, the abrupt US withdrawal from Afghanistan should not surprise anyone, WikiLeaks editor-in-chief Christian Hafnason told RT, saying the fact that Washington was able to deceive the world for 2 decades is shocking. I mean, they were able to deceive the Goyim, yeah, but they didn't deceive the believers in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. The men of the Lord, the prophets, the apostles, elders, they didn't deceive us, because for decades we've been telling you these people are the devil, man. Their whole MO is war. All right, our teachers on down, we've been saying it, that their whole MO is about war, all right, to kill, to destroy. That's why they're in these lands, for resources. And what were they doing in Afghanistan? One of the main resources that they was taking was the opioids, opium, the heroin, And it ain't no surprise that in the Western civilization, or so-called Western world, drug addiction is skyrocketing. People on Class A drugs skyrocketed, man. And that's with the culmination of this war for the past 2 decades, man. Because they were importing all these drugs into these countries, America, England, Europe. Where do you think that all comes from? It comes from Afghanistan, Asia, Pakistan, all these countries. But mainly Afghanistan, where they've been, at war for 2 decades, man. And all that truth's coming up now. So it says Washington's 19-year-long war campaign in Afghanistan was one big lie that only benefited America's military, industrial complex and private contractors. Yeah, it benefited the international bankers. All right. Just like every war, there's that documentary, All Wars Are Bankers' Wars. All right. Because the military are nothing but, hired gunmen of the elites. But they're fed the rhetoric or the lie that, they're going to defend the land, all right, from the terrorists that are blowing things up in the Western world, which is all bull CIA and MI5 operatives, man. All right. You see, but really what you're doing is you're defending the interests of the bankers. That's why you're in these places, to defend the interests of the wicked elites. All right. That's what you're there for. So it says that only benefit America's military industrial complex and private contractors, Hafnason said. The WikiLeaks editor-in-chief said it was not the ongoing chaotic withdrawal of the US and its allies that was now a surprise, but the fact that mainstream media did not catch on to the lies which prolonged the war long ago. Well, the mainstream media is controlled by Esau, man. The BBC, the ITV, all these media outlets, they're controlled by the Edomites, man. So they're going to pump out what they want you to hear. Bin Laden, terrorists, Afghanistan, all these buzzwords, So they're going to pump out what they want you to hear. So then basically you're basically with what's going on in the other side of the world, all right? So it says WikiLeaks published a trove of documents that all painted a true picture of what was going on in Afghanistan 11 years ago, Hafnerson said, referring to the so-called Afghan War Diary, a collection of internal US military logs, diplomatic cables and CIA documents covering the period between 2004 and 2010. The leak that included a total of 91,000 documents was considered one of the biggest in military history. It did hit the headlines at the time, eventually leading to the arrest and prosecution of whistleblower Chelsea Manning, and put WikiLeaks and its founder Julian Assange in Washington's crosshairs. Yet despite the document dump, somehow the general perception of the Afghan war did not change and the lies continued, Hafnerson said, calling such a state of affairs astonishing. It is extremely surprising how long this went on, the WikiLeaks editor-in-chief said, calling the war an extraordinary 20 years long lie. It became the forgotten war, overshadowed by another US military adventure, the war in Iraq, he believes. Discussions about what was truly going on inside the country were largely avoided until the Washington Post exposed it all over again by publishing the so-called Afghan papers in 2019, he said. Yeah, they're not going to tell you what really goes on in those lands, man. That they're destroying, villages. They're not, who are they really going there to kill? They were destroying villages of children, so-called innocent women and children, defenseless people. That's what they were doing. All right? That's what it was all about, raping, pillaging, murdering. You got those images of the US Army, with piles of dead Iraqi bodies or Afghani bodies. And they're basically, it might be a Edomite woman or Edomite dude, and they're drinking next to the dead bodies, taking pictures with it. I seen one where they were drinking beer out of the prosthetic leg of a dead Afghanistan man, So this is what they were really doing over there, all right? But then you're fed the propaganda that they're there to defend this country. Well, what are you defending? What's over here to defend? Homosexuality, lesbianism, LGBT. You defending that? Democracy, which is it's all getting exposed now, man. And that's pretty much the point on this article. Western media complicit in hiding truth of Afghan war. So basically the lies, which we've been exposing it and the truth's been coming out anyway, through the scriptures, but it's just out in the open now. It's all bullshit, all these wars. It's the end of the world, man. America is a big joke. The media in America is a joke. Which is Babylon the Great. The presidencies are a joke. Kamala Harris, Biden. No one even gives a f about that. A couple years back, it was Donald Trump. It was just a big joke, man. Over here in Britain, it's Boris Johnson and all these puppets, man. Now the truth's coming out. It's all lies, all NWO agenda, It's all being exposed, man. Okay, this is revelation, but that's Esau's MO. When Esau tells you he's there to help, you better believe he's there to destroy, man. All right, that's what he's really there to do. He's not there to help. He's there to destroy and to pillage the place. So this is Revelation 6:4. It says, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon, to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword, all right? And who's this talking about? That's talking about that E, man, all right? That man named E. So it says, and there went out another horse, all right? And that was red, all right? The red man, the Edomites, man. The true red people, that's a omen, man. Edomites, Edom, all right? Because what? Because their blood shows forth through their skin, man. So that then they're called after what they look like, the Edomites. If you look at so-called white people properly, without having the blinders that they're white people, all right, the truth is they're red. Their cheeks are rosy red. Their skin is basically, you can see through their skin, man. You can see the blood, man. So that's symbolic. It says power was given to that horse and it was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon, which is a so-called white man, to take peace from the earth. And he has done take peace from the earth. They've been America, I believe, has only had like 10 years. I have to go look it up again, but they've only had like 10 years. There's only a few years of peace. No war, basically. Other than that, they're a kingdom of war, because who's at the helm of it? The man that's sitting on that red horse, Esau, man. Or the red man. He's at the helm of it. So they're never about peace. They're about war. They were in the 70s for years. They were in Vietnam, all right, to fight communism. But really they were there stealing the drugs. And, you know, they've never been at peace, man. Since Esau came over to the Americas, all right, and encountered the tribes over there, all right, the Native American brothers, man, the tribe of Gad, he went to war with those peoples, man. Spoke peacefully, but went to war. That's his MO. But it's all being exposed now. Speak peacefully. And even not to mention those dead Iraqi people and stuff, right? And they had the piles of bodies. Well, they were doing that to Gad and Reuben. They were doing that to Judah. They were doing that to Israel, Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. Anything you see that the so-called white man is doing on the earth now to the other nations, it was already done unto us, man. And now you have our people that fight in these armies and whatnot, man. You know, don't know what the hell they're doing. So it says, and power was given unto him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword, all right? Going back to Genesis, the blessing of Esau was that sword. And that great sword was given unto these Edomites to take peace from the earth. And they've done that, man. They've definitely taken peace from the earth, man. We were just reading that article and it was talking about a 20-year long war in Afghanistan. What the hell are you doing in another land for 20 years but pillaging and destroying over there? All right? This is Habakkuk, and the Lord's about to destroy you Edomites anyway, but that's why you're getting exposed, man. Because Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is getting ready to destroy you, to take that power from you, man. That blessing of the sword that was given unto you is getting ready to get taken from you, man. And the international bankers, they know this, man. All right? This is Habakkuk 2 and 5. It says, yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, he's a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. All right? And that's what he was doing in Afghanistan, in Iraq, in Libya. All right? In when you first landed to the shores of America. All right? You enlarged your desire. You're a proud man. Talking about the so-called white man. All right? It says, and it says he transgresseth by wine. What's his wine? His philosophy, his democracy. All right? There was a brother was showing me in Afghanistan. All right? Because, you know, like now the big thing is that the American Navy army is leaving Afghanistan and all that. Well, in Afghanistan, you had like murals of a painting of like a woman. You know, it looked like basically like what you'd see out here in society today. A billboard of a beautiful looking woman. You had that in Afghanistan. You know, she didn't have her head covered and whatnot. You know who painted that? It was, you know, they were pushing that democracy influence. Women don't wear your veils and all that. That's like what that image was portraying. And as soon as the American army was said to leave, you saw the Afghani people painting over the wall. You know what I mean? So they were pushing that wine, but that's like symbolic that they're not there and they're leaving now. And those people are apparently what they're saying. The actual Taliban peoples are taking back their country again to enforce their rules again. So it's like symbolic. They were painting over that picture that they had of like a woman without her head veiled, makeup on and all that. They had a big painting. So it's like symbolic, man. All right. It says, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine. That's his democracy. Women should have freedom. And that's a big thing that women should have the rights to do what they want. Like they do here in this society. They can commit adultery. They can do what they want. Right? And that's a big thing they're pushing now. Now they're pushing all of a sudden, no, Afghanistan's women are going to be oppressed by the Taliban. First of all, it's their women. They do what they want with them, man. They have their enforcers. They have their rules. But not with Esau. He pushes his desire as hell and his wine, man, all over the world, man. All right? So that's that democracy. All right? Lesbianism, drugs, people on drugs freely. You know, do drugs, be trippy. You know, let your brain explore. That's the mentality, right? He's a proud man, neither keepeth at home. He don't keep at home, man. All right, he's everywhere. He's in the shores of America. He's in Britain. He's in India. He's in Hong Kong. He's in Afghanistan. He's in Iraq. He's in Libya. He's in Liberia, right? Who enlargeth his desires hell, and is as deaf and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. Exactly, Babylon. Because now you have, with all these wars, what happens when you have all these wars? You have migrants coming to different parts of the world. And they predominantly they try to predominantly get to the countries of the people that are destroying them. So you'd have an influx of Afghani immigrants to America, to Britain, you know? Because of these wars, man. All right, and it says, he's as death, all right? That's what the scripture says. He says his desire is as hell and he's as death because he destroys everything, man. That's the so-called white man for you, man. All right, he's a destroyer, man. He's a liar and he's a destroyer, man. And he's a murderer, all right? This is Psalms. Read this here. This is Psalms 55. Psalms 55 and 20. Psalms 55 and 20 says, or 21, it says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. And that's these Edomites, man. All right, they'll speak on their media. We must enter these foreign countries because the leaders over there are oppressing their population, you know. Like they make these people out to be savages. And this is what they call the tribes, the so-called natives, savages. We got to, subdue these savages and teach them how to live. It's the same MO, man. We've got to go to the foreign countries, and expel those bad apples there that are oppressing their people. And you're over here believing it like the so-called white man is Captain America, like he's the hero. But in reality, all those smooth words that he's talking, in reality, he's about war. He's about destruction, man. So the words of his mouth, they're smooth, man. That's all these Edomites, smooth words, man. But like butter, smoother than butter, it says. But war was in their spirit, man, in their heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. And that's the so-called white man, all right? His whole thing is to come in your lands, to destroy you, all right? Set up puppet leaders, steal your resources, and leave your land desolate and barren and destroyed, man. Just look at the Afghanistan, man. Or look at an example. Saddam Hussein, they made him to be this boogeyman, right? Now, I'm not saying that person, he wasn't a bad guy. Yeah, he was a heathen, right? He was one of them heathen kings and he done some bad shit. But in his country, all right, he had these people who had like free education, free electric. There was things he was doing for his people without the influence of America, man. But you see, the media in America will make him out to be this evil tyrant. But if you speak to the actual people from those lands, they'll tell you that it was better with him ruling way before America got in there. Look how those countries are now. Just look at Afghanistan after this 20 years. It's a dust rubble, man. All right, so, it's been destroyed. Look at Iraq. It's been destroyed. Look at Libya. And this is after all the influences of the CIA, the MI5, the so-called Edomite powers that be. Their influence brings destruction to the planet, man. Okay? So that's their words are smooth, but they're about war, right? So it says the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords, all right? They draw swords, all right? Soft oil words, but they're about drawing swords, man. Because they're devils, man. They're liars, all right? And that's all being exposed, all right? So I'm going to read this here, and I'm going to end it on this. This is John 8 and 44, right? John 8 and 44, it says, ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. This was the Lord talking to, wicked Negroes at the time, right? Wicked Negroes, Pharisees, right? Those wicked Jakes pretty much as a whole, man. Right? The wicked scribes and Pharisees and just wicked Jakes, man. Ye are of your father the devil. Who's the devil? The so-called white man, right? And it says, and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning. So this is the so-called white man, all right? It says he was a murderer from the beginning, the Edomites, and abode not in truth. He ain't about truth. Them soft words, their politics, we're here for the better of the people. All right. It says, and he abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. There's no truth in these devils, man. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it, man. All right. And that's the point. So the point of that article was a 2-decade war. All the lies are coming out. Well, we already knew that, man. See, as soon as you wake up to this truth, you wake up to the lies of this place, man. All right, you wake up to the fact that you're living in a society that's built upon blood, man. All right, this society and everything that we have in England and America and whatnot is built upon the backs of others, man. We're starting with Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, man. All right, the destruction of the tribes and then the destruction of the planet. We live in a place where the politics of where we live, the governing powers that be, destroy the planet, man. And we're products of it. Brothers are from different parts of the world. And now if you go into the history of all those different parts of the world that, different Akim are from, all right? Whether it's the islands, whether it's the Africa, whether it's Arabia, wherever brothers are from, you find that Esau, the influence of the country we reside in, has had a hand in being destructive to the places where we were originally from, man. All right? Which our homeland is really Israel, but that's just the point. We migrate to where, Esau's destroyed pretty much, these liars, man. So, but it's the Lord anyway, man. It's all being exposed and it's all being brought down anyway. All the lies of this place is being exposed, man. So with that, I'm just going to say all praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to the Akim that are teaching this word. Shalom Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. Shalom.